Hey, John here again. So this is one of those X marks ultravac deals that you get with a bagger. Well, I don't know if you get this part, but this is it's upside down, but side. It goes on the side of your mower deck there. It's one of those, like I said, ultravacs that has. Let's see if I can flip this over. Rotating. Oh boy, this thing's heavy. Ultravac, X marks ultravac. You know, your mower tube goes in here. This thing goes around 100 miles an hour, and it does. I don't know if you can see in there. You know, it chops it up pretty good there, but it also shoots it at the tube. It's a pretty good system, but he's got some issues with it. One of them being, he wants to know if I can try to repair this plastic stuff. I said, I don't know. I mean, looks like the mower blade got into it. Boy, he's saying this thing's 250 to 300 bucks just for the plastic piece. So I'll see what I can do with that, but mainly it's here because this thing here is $50 for this little angle bracket, and he wants to know if I can fix it because this pin broke off, and this pin is how it sits in, it just goes into a tube like this, you know, and it just sits in there, and I guess most of the weight's on this thing's pretty heavy, so I can imagine there's a lot of torque on this pin. But can't just weld this pin like this because it'll probably just break off again. But this collar here, this sits flush on the mower deck, has a hole the same size as this collar. So if I added a weld there, you know, the bead would be just too big. It wouldn't sit down flush on this thing. So I got some ideas. I think I'm going to cut this, looks like it's only welded right here, you know. So I think I'm going to cut this weld out, hopefully get that pin out, and take and weld this pin back together, unless I can find stock like this, which I'm sure I can, but I'll try to use this. Looks pretty straight. I'll try to weld this better the best I can and flip it, you know, upside down. So, because you don't need all this. In fact, I could just take this out and just put this back in there like this, because this is going to be enough to hold it in place. You know, minus the 2 inches here, ain't going to be a big deal, but I'll see what happens on that. I'm not worried about that. I'm just more curious. I don't know if I can repair this. I can see all the bolts fell out here, and that's probably what I think sagged and hit the blade, but I don't know. It's pretty stout stuff. Let's see what I can do, maybe with some sheet metal. So I'm going to fix this part first and see if I can take this off and sheet metal her up. Maybe give somebody an idea, because these do get eaten up by mower blades all the time. I know mine did. I fixed it with plastic once. Just kind of had plastic, one of these left over from something else, and kind of melted everything together. It worked pretty good, but I don't think I could do that in this case, just because you know, it's a pretty heavy duty machine, and I don't know, I'm going to try it with some sheet metal, see if that'll work. If not, he's going to have to get this piece here. I do work for this. I do side work for a guy that a landscaper dude that has this. It's not mine, so it's easy for me to just say to get another one, but he's saying they're like 300 bucks. So, and this is 50, so it's 350 bucks retail just for these two things. And you know, I don't know how much this unit costs, but that seems like a little pricey for this piece anyways. 50 bucks just for this piece too. So let me see what I can do. The only thing I can come up with is bending sheet metal around it, and this little piece here just kind of formed around there. So this piece will be the initial piece, you know, and gotta open that up a little bit. And then I'll have to do the side piece separate. You can't bend it, you know, all this at once, but something like this. Get in there. I'll have to work that a little better, but pop rivet these two together, you know, it's gonna be better than it was. Straighten this out a little bit, but see, I think what the problem was, these bolts are long gone, probably been missing for years, and the thing just started, you know, whatever. So I'll re-bolt that back to the frame. But you see this crack here? That's going to be a problem. So I'm thinking just kind of go with sheet metal this way, you know, and I'll have to work that over the corner, but bend it that way, pop rivet it. This plastic's pretty thick, and then bend that over to form it that way, pop rivet it in place, Save this fella 300 bucks or so. Not sure what I can do with this. I don't know if you can see that. But, this thing's heavier than hell. There's a big old missing plastic there just from wear, you know, leaves and stuff going by. I don't have any more sheet metal, so let me go downstairs in the basement and see if I do have a little sheet. I might be able to form that. I don't know what I can do about that. I'll figure it out though. So let me bend all this back into shape and bend this around, see what it looks like. I went about as far as I want to go with this junk. So minus that thing, that should work fine, no problem. This here, who knows? This has been misaligned so long. These 3 bolts, they were just like shifted almost an inch away, which is probably how that mower blade got into this thing, you know, over time. But I mean, this thing's got issues. So anyway, that's my final you know, product there. I just it's reinforced, you know, it goes inside too, so that's gonna work for whatever. But he really needs this dude really needs one of them plastic pieces. He's got to spend the money, because to get this whole unit, it's quite expensive. But that plastic piece, even if it's 250, 300 bucks, I mean, he's got other issues with it. I did put this metal on, it's reinforced, it's gonna work, but he's got, like, look at this gaping hole here. This is probably a crack, and it's just turned into a valley of, you know, I'm sure shit blows right out of there. That's what he, you know, the impellers in there are just blowing it out there, making it worse. But he's got other issues. Look at this belt. I mean, I can't even believe this belt works, but look at that. It's rubbing on the back side here. I don't know why. I don't know if this is misaligned or, you know, when you, I think this is probably, yeah, that's on a spring. So when you put this, wherever this goes on the mower deck, it probably brings it in there and it clears that for sure. But when you disengage the mower, I'm sure that little, you know, bobble just wore it out in time. So he's got a hole there, which I'm not going to entertain doing. I might entertain this one here. I might scuff this up and put some Gorilla Tape over it. If it holds, it holds. I'm not doing sheet metal on it because he just wanted this fixed. This whole piece was all gummed up, and he wanted this fixed. I don't know what his plans are, but that's all I'm doing for today. And honestly, this is I don't know what gauge steel that is, and I fortunately have some steel rivets, but you know, you can use plastic. I've done it before. Here, let me show you. About 3 or 4 years ago, I did. This thing is one of those leaf sucker deals, but it's hooked to this tube, and this tube, same thing, blade hit it, just tore everything up. And I had some extra stuff like this hanging around, so I cut a piece out and pop riveted that. That's probably 4 years ago, and it's still holding up. So you can use plastic. I'm just throwing out some ideas. That's plastic, and this is sheet metal, but I'm not going to paint it because, you know, he's going to need a new one anyways. He's going to need a belt for sure. Can't even believe that thing works. But anyways, so that's all I got. Just some ideas on how to fix, or a temporary fix anyway, your beat up, you know, chute. This is, again, one of those, oh boy, this thing is heavier than a damn lawnmower. So this is one of those, this is the way it goes on a machine like that. You know, just hangs off a heavy duty mower deck, obviously, it's so heavy. And then a tube comes in here, blah, blah, blah. And really, just that stem I had to re-weld. It's kind of the only thing that holds that on there. I mean, it comes around, plugs into the side, you know, chute with a, you know, that is, and then you got this little guy here. I think that, I don't know what that does. I think it grabs something, I don't even know. But I think it's just that pin, it rotates over and plugs in, and that's all you got, really. Let's see what it will, you know, I can't remember. I've seen the thing over here, but then this, of course, plugs onto the thing, but that's the only thing I can come up with. So I want to be done with this. So I can't live with this crack here. I mean, I just spent 2 hours replacing this thing. So that is steel. That'll probably rust. So I just scuffed it up. I'm gonna shoot that with paint a little bit, but I'm gonna try some HVAC tape, that sticky stuff. I just scuffed this plastic up, used some cleaner, and got as clean as I could. This HVAC tape, and I'm gonna put Gorilla Tape over it. if it works, it works. It'll probably blow off one mow, but you know, I'm not here for that. He didn't mention anything about that. I mean, I showed him that when he got here. He goes, yeah, why don't I, you know, just fix the lip there so it can plug into, you know, his mower correctly, and so he could still use it. And of course, the stem there needed to be replaced. So I am just going to throw a little tape on there. I know tape's kind of tacky, but to do sheet metal, I could do that too, but it's kind of a little bit involved because all the corners, I mean, the round, you know, where it's going to plug in, that's going to be another hour or two. So I don't really want to mess with this because, again, I'm going to tell him when he gets this thing, A, you need a goddamn belt, and B, just spend the money and get yourself a tube, because this thing is so misaligned, so whacked out for however many years. He just needs another one. But I am going to put a little tape on there, try to do the old, well, I can't say that, but jerry rig, we'll call it, and see how that goes. One total hack job complete. So I just threw a little paint on that that metal just because it is steel, it'll probably rust. But so the tape, wouldn't it be funny if the tape lasted longer than the sheet metal? Anyways, that stuff's stuck on pretty good. I tried to, like, again, I tried to pick it off. It is stuck on pretty good. I did get a little piece on the other side where it's stuck on dirt, but it's not going to last. I know that, but it was just bothering me, that big gaping hole. But it's going to be funny if it does last for any length of time, more than a minute. I'd be shocked. But between the HVAC tape and the Gorilla tape, who knows? Anyways, that's all I got for sure this time. So again, just some ideas on how to, you know, mend your plastic when your mower blade hits it, because it happens all the time. Sheet metal is probably a better way to go, but I've done it with plastic, and there you have it. Thanks for watching.